Hey everyone, my name is David Dunbar, or the theme park evangelist. I was originally sitting on the left side of the couch, but turns out that spot didn't really work out because there was too much sun glaring down at me from behind, and unfortunately the cat was insulted, but I want everybody to be able to see me. So, anyway, today's awesome discussion topic is going to be something a little unusual, but I would like to talk to you guys about how can you tell how busy one of the Central Florida theme parks are based on where you get parked. I know, just like probably thinking to yourself, what? Why are we even discussing this? Like some of you might look at this and go, I'm not going to watch this. Well, that's fine. I mean, I still kind of feel like this would be kind of cool to talk about, but hey, that's just me. But anyway, so for me personally, I would like to start with Walt Disney World and kind of how you can tell if it's going to be a busy day or not. Well, one of the key ways you can tell if it's going to be a busy day or not, obviously, is depending on what time of the year, but we're going to also go by where you get parked. So, say for example, we got an early riser, sorry, that likes to get to the park right when it opens, and then we got the late sleeper that likes to just kind of, or the late person that likes to kind of take his or her time getting to the park. So, we won't say specifically what time of the year it is. We're just going to pick a random day sometime in the year, and we're going to basically say that these two different people, regardless of gender, decide that, well, we're going to both go to the park. Hold on one second, I got a phone call. Sorry about that, but anyway, yeah, let's just say two random people, the early riser and the late sleeper decide, or the late whatever, decide that they're going to go to the Magic Kingdom one day. So the early riser gets to the park right at 9 in the morning when the park opens. And the early riser gets offered right away preferred parking. Hey, we have tons of preferred parking available if you want it. Well, the early riser decides, well, he or she wants to save money, so they get parked elsewhere. Well, turns out it's going to be a busy day. But thankfully, the early riser got there early, so they're going to end up sticking them right after preferred parking. So preferred parking at the Magic Kingdom, for those of you who do not know, is usually the first couple of sections of heroes and villains. So heroes would be like Woody and trying to think here. Aladdin. No, not Aladdin. I'm sorry. You know what? I'm gonna Google or search that. Just give me a second. All right. I don't expect you guys to be able to see that all that well, so I'm just gonna go ahead and read it off to you. So I'm looking right now at a image or a map of the Magic Kingdom parking lot. So right off the get-go, you've got Woody and Aladdin and the preferred parking on the hero side, and on the villain side, you got Jafar and Zurg. All four of those are right away in the preferred parking section. So if you were to come in right at 9 in the morning, that's exactly where they would offer to let you park. And they would be like, hey, we got plenty of parking spots in those four sections. So depending on which way you get sent down. Now, typically, if it's slow, what they normally do is they start you off on the hero section. And when it starts getting busy, they will start filling up the villain section as well. So we're going to look at the hero section only for now because of the fact that it's starting to get busy. So by the time the late sleeper gets there, let's say the late sleeper decides, I'm going to get there at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon just because he or she wants to. If it's a really busy day, at this point, you're looking at either being parked in the very back of Cruella, Ursula, or even on the hero side of Rapunzel or Mulan, which is in the very, very back. And trust me, I have parked back there before. And unless the tram is running, which the tram, if I'm not mistaken, literally just opened or reopened for the first time in like a couple of years, like within the past week or two. You do not want to park back there. There's no way, not a chance that you want to park back there. I mean, look at this. Hold on, let me zoom that in a little bit. So, imagine parking like up here, or imagine walking all the way from here all the way back here. That's a good half-hour walk. And that's if your body's in good condition. You're probably even looking at an hour just to get all the way back there. And I think my mom has walked all the way back there, and she said it took a very long time to walk all the way back there. The Magic Kingdom parking lot is huge. I've heard that you can fit all of Disneyland in that parking lot. So, anyway, whoever decide, or well, let me start over. So the late sleeper, by deciding to sleep in and getting there late on a busy day, yeah, that person definitely was probably wishing I wish I got there earlier. I mean, yeah, you could have turned around, but if you were like determined that you really want to get there late, well, or you were determined to get there, well, you're going to be in for it. And keep in mind about the fact that you still have a 45-minute wait just to get to the Magic Kingdom alone, plus whatever wait you're looking at for getting through security and all that fun stuff. Hold on, that's not it. I want an Epcot parking lot map, because that's the next one I'm going to pull up. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this again. Apparently there is no image of the Epcot parking lot map online from my understanding, and I only have so much time to myself before I have people here again at the house. So I'm just going to have to visualize it for you guys the best that I can. So Epcot is a little more different, but now we're going to go with a slow day just to kind of switch it up for you guys. So on a slow day at Epcot, we're going to say that the late person decides, well, I'm going to sleep in again because I didn't learn my lesson from the first time. But this time the late person is shocked because by the time he or she gets there at, let's say 12 o'clock, let's say the late person decides, well, I'm going to get there a little earlier this time, because 3 o'clock apparently is way too crazy, so maybe I might get a little more fortunate. Well, this time you're fortunate because it's a slow day, so they're only just now starting to fill up Discover. Just now starting to fill up Discover. So the Epcot parking lot is basically a giant box. So you've got the right side parking lot, which is basically directly in front of Spaceship Earth. And that starts with a maze, and you got Believe, Create, Discover, and then it skips all the way down to Journey for whatever reason. Which I don't get, but whatever. And then you got the left side, which is all the way down here, and that's actually going to be over by the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind coaster. I don't know if that side of the parking lot still exists anymore. From my understanding, it's going to be right next to it. And then from my understanding, that parking lot goes all the way down to Wonder, if I remember correctly. And when they're using that parking lot, I believe that there is a separate tram that goes to that side of the parking lot, and then they have another tram that goes to this end of the parking lot. Well, Discover is on one side, and Journey is on another on the right side. I don't honestly remember exactly how the Epcot parking lot looks. That's why I kind of needed an image. I haven't been at Epcot in a couple of years, so I don't remember. I don't typically park at Epcot because I normally take a monorail over there anyway. But it sounds like this year I'm going to be parking over at Epcot, so maybe I can remember. Oh yeah, that's how it looks. But yes, normally if it's slow, and if you wait till like the mid afternoon on a slow day, they might just be filling up Discover. You might even be fortunate; they still might even be halfway through Create. It typically does not fill up very fast on a slow day at Epcot. If it's an insanely busy day, say for example, the last day of Food and Wine or the very first day of Food and Wine, something to that extent, normally they're already like filling up Wonder by that point. So you're looking at a very, very busy day, and that's usually a like 100,000 plus day at Epcot. Epcot can handle a lot of people, that's for sure. Magic Kingdom, the max they can hold is 100,000. So, in order for you to experience those kind of crowds, you're looking at like Christmas Day or something. Those are the days when you're literally, sorry, parking over by the old Richard Petty driving experience, and that's when you know, oh yeah, it's gonna be busy. So, yeah, just keep that in the back of your mind. Disney's Hollywood Studios. I'm sure I could pull this one up. So, let's see here. We're gonna do Hollywood Studios map. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant parking lot map. Here it is. Okay, then, interesting. So, this is basically what I got. I mean, that's pretty accurate from the best of my understanding. So, I don't know if they're turning. I don't know if how new this is, but yeah, I guess from my understanding, they got a whole section basically dedicated just to Donald. They got a whole section dedicated just to Mickey characters. Whoop. Then, of course, they got a whole section dedicated just to Star Wars characters, and then a whole section dedicated just to Pixar characters. So, I don't know if you're seeing this in reverse yet or not. You probably are, but from my understanding, on a slow day, since this is technically in reverse, Donald's actually on this side. So Donald would actually be the very first one they would start to fill up. Now, I believe that they don't fill too much of Donald up because that's where like the Uber service is at, all that fun stuff. Mickey's actually over here, and I don't know why I just did that. So, and then Pixar, which is actually over here on my side. I don't know if it will correct itself if I watch this on YouTube later or not. Like right now, I'm looking at a mirror, so to speak. That would be one of the last things that they would be filling up No, I take that back. Hold on, I'm gonna look at this properly. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that'd probably be like the last thing that they would start filling up. Usually, they're just now starting to fill, or they would just started to be filling up. Like, if you're parked back here or back here, that means it's going to be a really, really busy day. But if you're parked like at the very front of either the Donald section or the Star Wars section, then it's going to be a very quiet day. Like, even if you don't even get past this yellow line basically is what I consider the halfway point of the Hollywood Studios parking lot. So, if you can stay in front of that yellow line, then you know at least it's going to be an average day. Once you get past this yellow line, it's starting to go above average. If you go to the back of the parking lot, then you know it's going to be a very busy day. So you're looking at least 50,000 people, 50 to 60,000 people in the park. All right, now we're going to look up Animal Kingdom parking lot map. Alright, here we go. I don't know how clear this is. Cool. Oh, yeah, this is an older image. So, yeah, all of this right here, all the way from here, all the way to here. So, all the way from here to there is all guest parking lot. All that. Now, I'm not, showing you exactly what it's called, but that's like more or less it. If they park you about here, that means it's, or if you're parked usually within these couple of sections, that means it's generally going to be a quiet day. Once you start getting about here, it's an average day. If as long as you stay within this first half here, it's usually a pretty quiet day. Once you start getting about here, that means it's a very, very busy day. I mean, yeah, this is technically all like tram section according to this, but the tram basically comes around here and works its way up here, so to speak. But the tram does kind of sneak along this area, but I know for a fact that attendance at Animal Kingdom does tend to vary. New Year's Eve was definitely one of those days that the parking lot was pretty much about here. I'll tell you right now, ever since Pandora opened about 5 years ago, the attendance has definitely done this number. But before Pandora, you're looking at just these couple of sections that were being filled up like every single time. The park used to only be open until 5 o'clock. Pandora changed everything at Animal Kingdom. Disney Springs, I'll go ahead and show you guys too, just for the fun of it. Just because it's Disney. Actually, this is a really good image. And I'll go ahead and like kind of tell you how even Disney Springs has changed quite a bit. I know this is going to look a little weird on here, but we're going to make the best of it. It's kind of bright, I know. So, obviously, this is the Strawberry parking lot map. This is all surface parking right here. Back in the day when Disney Springs first opened, Well, I mean, when we first had Disney Springs, people would generally park right about here, or when we first had the transition to Disney Springs. Um, this was before the parking garages came. You would originally park over here. Um, I believe also there was another section that was kind of right over by here. This is where I wish I had a better image. This one kind of sucks. This is much better. All right. So, yeah, back in the day, you would park over here. Originally, you used to park and kind of over by this area. This is where the Lime parking garage is. You would park around that area. Oh, sorry, it's over here. I apologize. I don't, I don't honestly know where I'm looking at. It's kind of like right around here. Once again, I'm looking at this like a mirror. So, yeah, it's right around there somewhere. You would park closer to the Lime parking garage. This was all before the parking garages came into being. So, as soon as the parking garages showed up, if it's quiet, if you can get there early enough, depending on where you want to park, if you want to say, for example, park over what am I doing? If you want to say, for example, park over by the movie theater, the Starbucks on West Side, um, some of the restaurants over where NBA City used to be, or whatever it's called again, you would. Wow, it is really bright all of a sudden. You would park right over here. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know why my phone's so bright. I'm gonna see if I can turn my brightness down a little bit. Just for now. That might help. So yeah, you would typically park over here. If you wanted to go shop over at like World of Disney stuff like that, you would park over here. Obviously, the one that's going to be used the most is going to be this one right over here. Then they've of course started building new parking garages. So we now have a lemon parking garage, which I didn't know about. They have a grapefruit parking garage. Ironically, I came up with that one. I was like, just watch, Disney's going to build a grapefruit parking garage. I should get some kind of credit for it. No, I'm kidding. I like to be funny. Um, that's actually across the street from Disney Springs, so that's exactly where we find that. Apparently, there's a watermelon one, which I didn't know about. Which I'm like, okay. I mean, a lot of this might be surface parking too. The lime one came like right after the orange one, and the strawberry parking lot's been there for like ever. So that's, I guess, the best way to do that one. Now we're gonna switch over to Universal. So obviously, the busier times over at Disney Springs are going to be like weekends. That's when you're going to be like looking everywhere. Where am I going to park? I'll tell you right now, Disney Springs is a little different when it comes to their busyness. Like, where are you going to park? Like, I guess the best way to answer that. You know what? I don't know if I can find a parking garage map on here. Oh, Apparently there is. Oh well, so well before I get to that, so when you come into let's just say the orange or the line parking garages, for example, the walkway to Disney Springs is on level 3. So most people are generally going to aim for levels 2 and 3, but mainly 3, because they want the most direct and easiest route to get to Disney Springs. The floors that are going to have the least amount of people on them are 1, 4, and 5. 4, well, I shouldn't say 4 necessarily, 1 and 5. 4 actually is another one of those that you cannot find a lot of room even on a busy, or especially on a busy day. But 1 and 5 generally don't get a lot of attention just because of the fact that you have to either go up 2 levels or you have to go down 2 levels. So most people tend to avoid both. 5 probably gets the least amount of attention just because you have to park completely outside. But you know it's going to be really busy at Disney Springs if you get stuck on the top. That's when you know, okay, yeah, I don't know if I should be here or not. That's when you have to start scratching your head. But switching over to Orlando Resort. So, no, once again, not sure how well you can see this. So you would come up this way. And, you would come up like through here. There is going to be like a parking garage. See, I'm looking at this like a mirror. So, yeah, I mean, there is going to be like parking booths, and then that you'll go through, and they'll either send you to the right parking garage, or they're going to send you to the left one over here. The right parking garage, from here, I'm going to use my memory because I go to Universal enough that I have it all memorized. So once you go through those parking booths, like I was just telling you about, if they stick you into the right parking garage, you're going to basically have the same exact parking spots the whole way through. You're going to have E.T. in the very back. Then you're going to have Cat in the Hat in the very middle. And then you're going to have Spider-Man in the very front. So if you get put in the right parking garage, which is, since it's a lot smaller than the left parking garage, generally it's going to be a slower day. And then if that's not comforting enough, if you get put in the right parking garage, depending on where you get parked also says a lot too. So if it's an average day, then you might get stuck in the very back of ET, and they might even stick you on the very top floor for all you know. But typically, when it comes to very busy days, they will open up the left parking garage. In fact, they won't even allow any more people into the right parking garage after a certain time frame.